Everyone to the webinar. This is our digital marketing series that we have been running. I think this is the fifth installment. It is a strategic approach to connecting and engaging with your customers. That is the webinar series. It is being presented by SCORE Southeast New Jersey. And let me just, okay. So a little bit about SCORE. SCORE is a nonprofit 501c3 corporation. We were founded in 1964. We're currently at about 11,000 mentors with wide industry experience. We're arranged in about 250 chapters around the country. Since our inception, we've assisted more than 11 million entrepreneurs in starting and growing their business. And as you can see, in 2022, our SCORE clients started over 30,000 businesses and created over 112,000 jobs. We are, as we have said, SCORE Southeast New Jersey. We service clients from Point Pleasant to Cape May. We provide mentoring services, webinars and courses on demand. We have a library of online resources. We support local events and hold local events, seminars, and workshops, and that's all at no charge. We have a lot of resources for small businesses. I won't go into, won't go into saying out the addresses, but everyone who is on the call will receive a copy of the presentation today, so you don't have to worry about writing these things down. But our website is score.org/SoutheastNJ, and you can find a mentor. You can also look at various recorded webinars and other resources that are available on that website. Our recorded webinars, the link to the recording of the webinars is up there. We also have Facebook groups and LinkedIn groups, and you can participate on those groups. We ask that small businesses do not advertise their businesses, but you can participate in the conversations there. Our chapter also hosts a radio program every Saturday morning at 9:30. It is hosted by one of our mentors, Michael Pappas, and there's a rebroadcast Sunday at 7 a.m. And if you go to the website for WBNJ, there is quite a backlog of recorded shows over the past year or so. I think they did change. We've been doing this for about 7 years. They did change format on the radio, on the station a couple of years ago. So some of the older content was deleted, but we have there is quite a backlog of shows, and there's of course new content every week that Michael hosts a very good radio program. Just some housekeeping. We're going to ask for people to hold your questions until the end. Use the chat function so that we can all see your questions. We're going to, as we said, we're going to email you a copy of all the slides to all the registered participants. And if you have any questions, you can email me at that address, or Peter also will give his address in his presentation. So today, the topic today is inbound marketing best practices. And our presenter today is Peter Bemko, and he is a SCORE mentor, and is also a marketing strategist, and he partnered with a company called WSI, which is a global digital marketing agency. He has over 30 years experience in technology and business management, working in the financial industry. So Peter, I'm going to stop my share, and you can start yours.
Awesome. Thanks, Tony. I appreciate it. Really appreciate that. So now that should have worked.
I can see it.
You can see it? Okay, great. Great. Just moving some stuff out of the way so that I can keep going. Thank you. I appreciate the introduction, Tony. Thank you so much. And welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. We're here to talk about a very powerful approach to marketing that really can transform the way your business connects with your customers. And this is inbound marketing, right? In today's digital age, traditional marketing methods are becoming less effective. Consumers are more savvy. They skip through commercials, they ignore intrusive ads, and they have the power to research products and services at their fingertips. And this is where inbound marketing comes in. It's about creating valuable experiences that have a positive impact on people and your business. It helps you attract prospects to your business through the creation of insightful content that engages them using tailored content and conversations, and finally delights them by providing solutions to their problems and their needs. You might say, might ask the question, what's in it for me? Well, inbound marketing builds trust, it builds credibility, and it builds momentum. It's an approach that's customer focused and builds strong relationships with your audience by providing them with value. So it's not just about closing a sale, it's about opening a relationship. So I'll skip the intro really quick. This is actually our 6th SCORE webinar that we've done. You can check them all out on score.org or on our YouTube channel. So please take a look to see what we've got, because there's a lot of information out there. As Tony said, my name is Peter Bemko. I am a digital marketing consultant with WSI, SCORE mentor, and I help do the social media chair for the chapter. So quick poll for everybody, just to kind of get a reading of who's here with us. So are you a business owner? Are you a content creator? Are you looking for more detail on inbound marketing? Perhaps you're a sales manager who wants to understand how inbound marketing can help you generate more leads. So if you can just drop into the chat, who you are, where you're coming from. You might actually be a brand new business owner who's just going, what is this thing called inbound marketing? And hopefully this webinar will provide you with some ideas and some principles to kind of guide you forward. So Astor, thank you as a new business owner, and Darren, it's great. Appreciate you being a business owner. Just again, this is applicable to everybody, whether you're just learning or you can get some good details from that. So let's talk about the topics we're going to cover. We'll start by comparing inbound marketing versus the traditional outbound marketing and helping you understand why it's really a game changer. We'll explore the evolution of the marketing from going from a marketing funnel to a marketing flywheel. And in the flywheel, your customers are at the heart of every stage. In the stages, we'll talk about inbound marketing, which talks about attract, engage, and delight, and some strategies for each. Obviously, content is king, and we'll discuss why it's crucial and how you can create some engaging, some valuable content that resonates with your audience. But how do you know your efforts are paying off? So in that sense, we'll talk about measuring your success, what you should be tracking. And then ultimately, we'll bring all of this together. We'll look at a case study. And then at the end, we'll look at some action items. What can you do today to get started on your journey? Some statistics for you. According to the Grassroots Marketing Incorporated agency, companies that have a blog have a 97% more links coming to their website. They get 47% of daily searches for products or services, and 72% of business owners or executives said they prefer social media to help them close business deals. So the key is to generate website traffic that features solutions to your clients' problems. So let's talk about inbound marketing. What's it all about? Well, it's a business methodology that attracts customers by creating valuable content and experiences that are tailored to them. It's like setting up a lemonade stand, but instead of shouting out to people walking by, you're creating a delightful experience that makes them want to come closer. Now, you might be wondering, how does this differ from traditional marketing? Traditional marketing or outbound marketing is like throwing out a net and hoping that you catch something. It's the TV commercials that interrupt your favorite show, the telemarketing calls that during dinner, or the spam we get that is in our inbox that we never asked for. To contrast, inbound marketing is about creating a magnetic pull. It's about drawing people in rather than pushing your message outward. The stats back this up. According to HubSpot, 68% of inbound marketers believe their organization's marketing strategy is effective. Now, there's a philosophy behind inbound marketing, and it's all about creating value. It's about understanding your audience's needs and providing solution, but it's not about selling. It's about helping. And this approach really works. A report by Demand Metrics found that content marketing, which is a key component of inbound, generates 3 times as many leads as traditional outbound marketing, but it actually costs 62% less. And to add to that, a study by Marketing Sherpa found that 82% of consumers feel more positive about a company after reading custom content. That's the power of inbound marketing. It's not just about making the sale, it's about building the relationships. So for example, instead of buying ads or email lists or cold calling, inbound marketing focuses on creating that educational content that pulls people toward your website where they can learn more about what you sell on their own. So now let's talk about this evolution. Hopefully you're familiar with a funnel, which is where somebody understands that your services or your products are out there. Now you might have heard of this, right? It's been used for years to describe the customer journey. You attract a lot of people, potential customers at the top, you engage them in the middle, and then a smaller number of them come out as customers at the bottom. But here's the thing, it ends once the customer makes the purchase. It's kind of like saying, hey, thanks for your money, see you later. But we all know that's not really how business works. So HubSpot, a number of years ago, started to evolve the marketing funnel into what's called the marketing flywheel. Picture a big wheel that keeps turning round and round. At the center of this wheel is your customer or growth of your customer. Everything you do, every blog post, every tweet, every product you develop, it's all about adding momentum to that wheel and keeping your customers at the center of it all. And this flywheel is made up of 3 stages. You attract customers, you engage with them, and then you delight them. In the attract stage, you're drawing the right people with valuable content and conversations, and that establishes you as a trusted advisor. You're not just attracting anyone, you're attracting people that are most likely to become leads and ultimately happy customers. Next, you'll move on to the engage stage. Here you're presenting insights and solutions that align with your customers' pain points and their goals, so they're more likely to buy from you. You're not just talking at them, you're having a conversation with them. And finally, the delight stage. This is where you provide an outstanding experience that continues to add value to them, turning them from happy customers into promoters of your business. They don't just buy from you, they become part of your community. And they tell their friends about you and your products and your services. So why is this important? It's because in today's world, customers have more power than ever. We've all got endless information at our fingertips, right? Our phones are mini computers, right? We carry them around, they're everywhere with us, right? But by focusing on attracting customers, engaging them and delighting, you're not just making the sale, you're building the relationship. You're creating a customer experience that's so good, they can't help but tell other people about it. Our first stage, so let's talk about the attract stage. This is where you draw people into your brand's orbit. This is like being the most interesting person at the party, and people naturally want to come over and talk to you. Not being the loudest, but just being the most interesting. So why is it important? Well, it's your first impression. It's your chance to grab some attention and pique some interest. And in the digital world, attention is a very precious commodity. According to Microsoft, the average human attention span now is just 8 seconds. That's less than a goldfish. So we have to make those seconds count. So how do you do that? So first strategies are looking at SEO, or search engine optimization. This is all about making your website more attractive to the search engines, the Googles of the world. So when somebody Googles a question, related to your business, you're there to answer it. And according to marketing firm BrightEdge, over 53% of all website traffic comes from organic search. Now that's a lot of potential customers. Your next step could be blogging. And this is a fantastic way to share valuable information to establish your brand as an authority and attract visitors to your site. HubSpot talks about the fact that marketers who prioritize blogging are 13% more likely, or 13 times more likely, to have a positive return on investment. And of course, there's social media. We all know about Facebook and Instagram and Thread now that people go into and came back out of. That's a hugely powerful way to share content, to build your audience, and to build a community. And there's over 3.6 billion people using social media worldwide. It's definitely a place that you want to be. Now, all of this doesn't come without understanding buyer personas. These are fictional representations of your ideal customers. They're based on real data from customer demographics and their online behavior, and they help you understand your audience and create the content that resonates with them. There was a study that shows that marketers or business people who use personas and map their content to the buyer journey, they enjoy a 73% higher conversion rate than those who don't. So remember, the attract stage is all about understanding your audience, creating that valuable content, and using the right strategies to draw them in. It's that first step in building a relationship with your customers, and it sets the stage for everything that follows. So let's move on to engage, right? We've attracted some people, but now we want to start to engage them and start to build the relationship. We're building that relationship with the people who have shown interest, and we're trying to turn those visitors into leads and those leads into customers. So how do we do that? Well, now let's continue to engage them. Let's go dig a little bit deeper. We give them some personalized and relevant content, and that content meets their needs. It could be a blog post that answers a common question, a video editorial that shows how to use your product, or an interactive tool that helps them solve a problem. Remember, the idea is to provide value, to build trust, and to show your audience that you're not just interested in selling to them, you're interested in helping them. So one strategy that is very useful and being used a lot on websites these days is a chatbot or even live chat. The tool allows you to provide an immediate, personalized message to your visitors' questions or concerns. Chatbots can also help you gather valuable information about your visitors, which you can use to further personalize your content and your offers. So as you do the personalization, you could be addressing your audience by their first name in your emails, or you could provide really complex insights based on the things that you've gotten through your chatbot. Remember, the more personalized your content is, the more relevant it will be to the audience, and the more likely they'll engage about it or they'll engage with it. But remember, it's not just about delivering content. It's about listening to your audience and understanding their needs. It means paying attention to questions they're asking, to the challenge they're facing, and the goals they're trying to achieve. It also means being responsive to their feedback and willing to adapt your approach to what you're learning. And we finally come up to the delight stage. This is like the grand finale. It's where you're turning your customers into raving fans. And these are just some ideas on things you can use in order to help delight your customers. Delighted customers are actually your best promoters. According to American Express, happy customers will share their positive experiences with about 11 people. So that's 11 potential new customers just from delighting one. And how do you do that? Well, the key strategy, or a key strategy, is exceptional customer service. In this current environment, customers have endless choices, and great customer service can set you apart. PwC found that 3% of all people point to customer experience as an important factor in their purchasing decision. Another strategy is personalized experience. In understanding your customers' needs and preferences and tailoring your interactions to match, you're more likely to have them make the purchase when you offer those experiences. But there's also content inside of this delight stage, okay? It could be helpful how-to guides. It could be exclusive content for only your customers, or even it could be even a simple thank you. The goal is to provide value even after the purchase. The Content Marketing Institute talks about that 90% of top performing B2B content put their audience needs, informational needs, before the company's promotional message. So don't talk about you, talk about them. I was part of a team years ago that we were reaching out to customers, and we started to look at the copy. And as we were reading it by somebody who was a product manager who wrote it, it said, I do this, we as a company do that, we do this, we do that. It wasn't customer focused, so it wasn't resonating. So we embarked on a project to redo all of our content so that it put the customer first. This is how you can be helped by using our products. This is what you'll get when you ultimately use our product. And this is how to, an easier way to use our product. Hopefully that resonates with you guys, because I know it certainly did with me. It was eye-opening as I did that project. So let's continue with the main piece of inbound marketing, which is content, right? It is the driving force behind inbound marketing. It's what attracts people to your website. It's what engages them and ultimately delights them into becoming loyal customers and promoters of your brand. But why is it important? Well, it provides the values. It answers the questions, it solves the problems, and provides the information that they're actively seeking. Now, when we talk about the content, it's not just writing blog posts. It's many different forms. Though blogs are a great place to start, there's also various ebooks, and ebooks can be used as lead magnets. You can pull people in that way. There's webinars, some like this one. There's videos and podcasts, or even infographics that you place onto social media sites. The key is to use a mix of content types and keep your audience engaged, catering to their different preferences. Some people love to read in-depth articles, while others just prefer listening to a quick video or listening to a podcast. Creating engaging and valuable content might seem really daunting, but it doesn't have to be. You can start just by understanding your audience and what are their pain points. What questions do they have and what information are you seeking? And you can create content like that, right? As I mentioned before, just using an FAQ would be a great first step as creating content for yourself. And hopefully everybody's already doing that in their life or in their business lives. So here are some guidelines for content as it exists today, of where in the stage that the individual customer is. When they're in awareness stage, they're looking for research reports, they're looking for potentially some ebooks, again, as a lead magnet, they're looking for white paper, they're trying to educate themselves. When they're in the consideration stage, they're looking more deeply. They're trying to find out exactly what they don't know about things and what you do and what you bring to the table. And then as they get to that decision stage, they're actually now starting to compare you with other vendors, with other suppliers. So having case studies available or having product comparisons. I'm sure you've seen a lot of those that say, what's the best roofing shingle to be using, or the best windows? Who makes the best windows, Andersen or Pella? And those 10, Pella does this great this way, but Andersen does this great that way. So I'm sure we've all seen those infographics that talk about these things. And ultimately, it's about curiosity, followed by digging into additional details, and then further information looking at company-specific processes and methods, and how you do it versus how your competitor does it. And keep in mind, a quick FAQ that you would be a really great starting point for all of this, which would start to give you other content ideas. So let's shift a little bit more into SEO, or search engine optimization. SEO plays a very significant role within inbound marketing because it's the process of optimizing your website and its content to rank higher in the search engine results. The higher you rank, the more visibility you have, and the more likely it is that people will find and visit your website. SEO helps you attract the right audience to your website organically without having to pay for ads. So how do you optimize that, right? Well, you look for keywords. So in that FAQ, you use that as keywords for what your people are looking for. But SEO isn't about just keywords, it's about backlinks. So backlinks are links from other websites to your own. They're kind of the internet's version of a referral or a thumbs up. And when another website links to your site, it's essentially saying, hey, this is good information. You should go and check them out. In search engines like Google, see the backlinks as votes of confidence. If a lot of sites link to the same web page or website, the search engines can infer that content is worth linking to and therefore worth surfacing on a search engine results page. What are the ways to get some SEO backlinks? So you can create, of course, high quality and valuable content. And this is the most organic way to do it. Again, creating that content that's informative, it's interesting and valuable, and other websites will naturally want to link to your content. You could do some guest blogging for other people, and a guest blog post will allow you to link back to your site, sometimes in your bio or sometimes within your content itself. You can get backlinks by building relationships with other influencers, with other businesses, or other bloggers within your industry or even outside of your industry. And that becomes a natural way to build those links. You link to their site, they link to your sites. So you're actually sharing that information. The last piece about this, let's talk about your site structure. So your website itself, you want to make sure that it's structured so that you have pages that link to each other. And that clear and logical structure makes it easy for search engines to crawl and to go through your website and to understand your content. A clear and clean structure also improves your user experience. That is a huge ranking factor. And according to HubSpot, 76% of consumers say one of the most important factors in a website's design is that the site makes it easy for me to find what I want. So again, this is all tied together. All of these things work in concert in order to give you the most number of customers. So let's talk a little bit about social media and how it affects inbound marketing. It's a powerful tool. It's where your potential customers are hanging out, they're sharing their thoughts, and they're interacting with brands and your brand. It's a place where you can attract, you can engage, and you can delight your audience in a more relaxed and personal manner. So how can you use it? Well, obviously it starts with attracting your audience. And you do this by sharing interesting and valuable content that resonates with them. Again, could be blog posts, infographics, short videos, or even just thought-provoking questions that are done as part of a poll. The goal is to create content that your audience will want to share with their own followers and thereby increasing your reach. And once you've attracted an audience, you can continue to engage them by starting conversations, by responding to comments, hosting live Q&As, hosting webinars or live events. Keep in mind, social media is a two-way street. It's not just about broadcasting your message, but it's also about responding and listening to your audience. You can also use social media to delight your audience by providing an exceptional customer service experience. Social media you can actually use Facebook as your chat bot. And in doing that, you can then get that customer's information without sometimes asking for it, because you're using Facebook chat in order to get stuff done. Remember, when your audience feels heard and appreciated, they're more likely to become promoters of your brand. But not all social media platforms are created equal, right? Different platforms attract different audiences, and they're suited for different types of content. On the screen, we talk about Gen Z. So 18-year-olds to 25 or 26-year-olds. This is where they're going for their information. They're going to YouTube, to Instagram, to TikTok. So it's most important to remember, right? You will always want to create engaging content. The more your audience engages with your content, the more visibility you'll get on all the social media platforms. Don't be afraid to get creative or experiment with different types of contents, because social media is a fantastic tool to use as inbound marketing. Certainly, it will help you attract, engage, and delight your audience in a very personal way. Well, as we've started going through this, let's talk about a crucial piece of this, which is measuring your success. You've put the work in, you've created the content, and you've engaged with your audience. But how do you know if your efforts are paying off? That's where your key performance indicators, or KPIs, come in. KPIs are measurable values that demonstrate how effectively you're achieving your business objectives. So there are some examples here on the page, but I'd just like to highlight kind of three of them. Three that a lot of people think are key before you go down the rest of this list. And I've got a couple of additional slides that really dig in to this. You want to look at your website traffic, right? It's fundamental for inbound marketing because it's measuring the people visiting your website and what they're looking at. Is your content actually attracting visitors? And is your SEO working to get people there? You then want to look at your lead conversion rate. And this is a KPI that measures the percentages of visitors coming and those who become leads. It helps you understand how effective your website and content is at capturing the interest of visitors. And then there's the customer acquisition cost. This looks at the total cost of acquiring a new customer, including all of your marketing, all of your sales. This really comes to the heart of your financial effectiveness of the inbound marketing strategy. Now, these are just three of the many that are available to you and what you can do. So in these follow-on pages, you can see we're talking about revenue and ROI, net promoter scores, how many reviews you get, right? Each of these comes into a different bucket, and these will all be managed in different ways based on whether you're looking for business to consumer, business to business, or an agency that's looking to manage this for someone else. So now let's shift gears a little bit and look at a case study. Okay. I chose Airbnb because they've got a global marketplace that's technically revolutionized the way we travel. How many 10 years ago or 20 years ago did we ever think about renting out someone's home to go and visit a place? We all thought hotel rooms or timeshares were a really big thing through the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s, and a lot of people got caught up in those, and Interval International and all of those things. So Airbnb's inbound marketing strategy is really a masterclass in how they engaged and attracted customers. And they've used a number of different channels. Right? They started up something called Airbnb Magazine. Now, this is definitely a way to attract somebody, and it's using both, again, the outbound marketing and inbound marketing, right? They shared travel tips. They shared stories about destinations. They provided destination guides, right? So it wasn't just informative information, informative content, but it also inspired readers to start thinking about their next adventure. What are the possibilities of how to use Airbnb for the next stage of their next vacation, right? So SEO, right? They've done a fantastic job in optimizing their website to appear in a lot of the search listings for travel and accommodation in very specific locations. So this has been a key driver of their organic traffic. They're also very active on social media platforms, including Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. They're sharing these beautiful photos of listings and destinations. Again, similar to Airbnb Magazine, right? A different demographic, a different set of people that they're trying to reach, because some people aren't on the social media sites, therefore now they can. Okay. The thing to remember about social media is that requires constant effort. And all this inbound marketing requires a constant effort, right? You've got to maintain engagement. You've got to, once you start this momentum, you start to, you've got to maintain it. You've got to keep it going. And one of the standout elements of Airbnb's strategy is user-generated content. And I thought this was really great, where they had locally focused content that you could get help from a local host to plan your trip. And they've in their social media, they've used a lot of hashtags, and it's been incredibly successful because they're getting authentic testimonials that promote the brand organically. In looking at what Airbnb did for their strategy, first off, content, whether it was blog posts, user-generated content, or unique offerings like Experience or Airbnb Magazine. It's providing valuable and engaging content, and it's been their key to attracting and retaining their customers. Second, SEO was crucial for reaching customers who are actually searching for their services. They're traveling. I'm reminded of a anecdote that somebody told me. They were a Airbnb user for all of their travel, and Airbnb listens to their customers, because in looking at customer reviews, one of the things was about having enough power outlets, having the right power outlets in that, and having a desk set up for this particular user. So Airbnb actually reached out to this user and said, hey, we're going to suggest these types of Airbnb locations rather than what we've been giving you, because you're a business user and you're looking for these types of experiences. So he not only in his content and the way that he reviewed Airbnb and about the places that he was, they listened and they adjusted the personalization of their content that they were sending him, the emails and such, so that he had a much better experience and he felt heard by Airbnb and what they were doing. So again, a convert completely, he talks about it all the time. Okay, so coming up into the final leg of our presentation. So let's talk about some action items, things that you want to follow up. Let's make sure that you define your buyer personas, right? Get an understanding of who your ideal client is, what their interests are, what their challenges are, what their goals are, and this will help create content that resonates with them. Set your goals. What do you want to achieve with this inbound marketing strategy? Do you want more website traffic? Do you want more leads? Do you want more sales? Who doesn't want any of that stuff? But let's be specific so that you can make those goals measurable, right? Make SMART goals. Now start to create that valuable content. Use your buyer personas to create that content that they find valuable. Because remember, the goal is to attract, to engage, and delight people, right? And could be blog posts, could be infographics, or podcasts. Promote that content using SEO and social media so that it gets in front of the appropriate audience, and start to then analyze it and adjust it, right? Set up that system so you're tracking it, so you know whether you're working forward, what's working, what isn't working, and adjust as you're going along. Some things to really think about also is that you want to do quality over quantity. It's better to create a few pieces of great content than lots of mediocre content. AI is taking over the world, right? They're talking about how you can use AI to create a lot of content really quickly. But does that content really resonate with people? Does it have the human touch? Another thing you want to do is you want to be patient. Inbound marketing is a long-term strategy, like search engine optimization. It's going to take some time to see some results, so don't get discouraged if you don't see results immediately. Stay consistent. Consistency is the key. You want to keep that message out there. You want to keep producing and promoting your content regularly so that your audience stays engaged and keep coming back for more. Stay away from that hard sell. Inbound marketing is about providing value and building the relationships, not pushing for that end sale. You want to remember to focus on educating and helping your audience, and the sales are going to follow. And remember, one of the things you can do is, if you have content today on your website, do a content audit. Take some time and take a look to see whether or not it meets the criteria that we've talked about around the keywords, around is it helpful, is it engaging, does it do stuff, and then rework it. That would probably go a long way to not having to create fresh and brand new content. I know I write better when I have something on the page than if I have a blank page staring at me trying to figure things out. So in summary, well, let's recap this completely. All right, we started with talking about an understanding of what inbound marketing is. It's a strategy focused on attracting customers through valuable and relevant contact. And then we dove into the inbound marketing flywheel and its 3 stages of attracting, engaging, and delighting. And each stage has its own strategies, from doing SEO and blogging and personalization to all the way to exceptional customer service. And it's all aimed at creating a customer-centric experience. We talked about content, and it's important in your role of inbound marketing and the power of social media. And we also talked about measuring success, right? Making sure you keep track of everything that's going on. So I'm going to wrap this up at this point. This information was based on a book by WSI called Digital Minds that's available on Amazon. So feel free to check this out. There's lots of other information within this book around competitive analysis, around email marketing, around video for marketing, a really great reference to have. If you'd like to dig deeper, you want to talk about some other things or some specific points that we didn't get to talk about, reach out to me. My contact information is on the page. I can provide it as part of the chat later on. So please, I'm happy to have a conversation with you, and we can review what's going on in your business. Before we go to Q&A, I'm just going to say that as part of the deck, there's also going to be a series of resources. Some of this is available. It's all free. The one that I really liked about this is the third one down. HubSpot created a My Persona tool, literally asking you a series of questions about your ideal client and how you can serve them. So thank you very much. Let's do some Q&A, Tony.
Yep, we can open it up to questions now. If you could please type your question into the chat, that'd be helpful. Peter, I had a question about while we wait for some other questions to get typed in. I had a question about blogging, because blogs have obviously been around for a long time. So there's a lot of blog information out there. How does I guess it's probably an ill-formed question, but how do you how does that attract attention to your website, and how do you stand out from the crowd?
That's a great question, Tony, and it is one that we struggle with all the time. They talk about with blogs, right? Part of it is finding that ideal client. Everything really comes back to who is that information directed towards, and how do they find it? So the blog is kind of one piece of the strategy. In you placing that blog on your website, that starts to generate the search engine optimization piece, because a well-written piece now has some of those keywords within it. So if we're talking about, putting a deck on your house, for example, right? Here are 10 tips for building your own deck, a DIY deck. Now your website is a contractor's website, for example. Now you start to talk about things that attract people who want to do a DIY deck. You could also take that now blog to go into a someone else who you're sharing things with or networking in. So another construction company that's not in your area. You could do things like that, right? Excuse me. Or you could do that as a guest post. Take those 10 things and use them as social media to say, here are the top 3 things you want to do as a DIYer in there. Again, that informational piece that all kind of ties it together. I hope that's helped. Tony, I think you're frozen. Yes, I think so. Okay. Thanks, Astra. I appreciate that. This, if there's anything that I would want folks to take away from this, is that inbound marketing is part of a complete marketing strategy. It's one aspect of doing something, and there's a lot of moving parts. In that sense, what you really want to do is really take a look at that big picture. And I can't stress enough that it really talks back to your ideal client, knowing who they are, or at least defining them very well. And your ideal client isn't just your demographics. It's about the people who that buy your product day in and day out, or buy your service day in and day out. Who are they? What are they doing? Again, I'll use the construction example as a roofer, or as somebody who needs a deck built or wants a deck built, right? Some people will want to only get the deck built because they've had an idea. Others will want to see what wonderful decks that you, as a builder, have built. So that would attract them to you. And social media helps you do that, as does Google Business Profiles, because you can post to Google Business Profiles. It's not just about Instagram. It's not just about Facebook. There's Nextdoor. There's things to do on Yelp. There's things to do on lots of places where you can post your valuable content in order to start to gain traffic. Webinars and like this are a really great way to get this information out, as are just going to a Chamber of Commerce meeting and things like that to get other folks done that way. So I don't know if I'm live or not, but I'm going to see if there's any other questions. Anything else anybody wants to ask? Thanks, Aster. So Aster talks about getting a marketing assistant to do the parts of the business that she's not good at. It is definitely an option, depending on where you are in your journey. Having someone to help you along in those is a great thing to free up your time. It's part of working in the business versus working on the business. And if you can afford it, having someone to do some of those things or to guide you. One of the challenges I think you find is in finding someone who has the capability to do those things. There's lots of people on Fiverr and Guru.com who can do one-off projects, but are they actually looking at your strategy? So the marketing assistant, I think, would be a good person to help you do content posts, to help you manage pieces of it that are hard to do, or not hard to do, but they're time consuming sometimes. So that would definitely free up your time to do the creative work or work with somebody to engage on that. And what business are you in, Aster? We might be able to give a little bit more detail. Life coaching. Okay. All right. So you, from your perspective in that life coach aspect, you have a lot of great valuable information that you could provide in working on LinkedIn, working within Facebook, doing a community. So if you build a community on Facebook around life coaching or join one where people are looking for life coaching advice, you can start to post information there. Now, again, your marketing assistant could help you with that by bringing to you, hey, these 3 posts happened yesterday. Okay, would you like to do something with them? Or here are ideas on how to build upon those posts and move those forward. Great, great, awesome, awesome. Okay, Tony's having issues. All right, any other questions that we might have from anybody? Well, we're right at 1 o'clock right now, so thank you for your time this afternoon. Really appreciate you being here and participating in our inbound marketing. And I'm going to close out the call by saying thank you. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will see you soon.